Welcome to this beautiful sunny Tuesday, February 9th, 2021.
Hey, Matthew.
And we get to travel away from the cold that we explored last week with Antarctica to an island. And I'm not going to tell you yet where it is because I want to know if anyone can take a guess once I pulled up on our Google Maps. But this is St. Lucia. And I think we have someone in the audience who knows somebody who's been there. Is that right, Brad?
That is correct.
Brad, which famous people do you know who've been there?
My mother and my father, they went on their 25th anniversary trip to St. Lucia, and they did some scuba diving.
Aww. Wow. That is so cool. So that gives everyone a clue. One of the activities in the area is scuba diving. And as I've mentioned, it is an island. So let's see just exactly where it is and what it's all about.
I can't hear you guys.
Okay. Kendall, can you hear us now?
Yeah. I can't hear you or see you.
Elaine, Matthew, or Catherine, can one of you do some typing?
I can't hear you, Michelle.
To Kendall, and maybe tell her to try leaving and coming back to the meeting.
Camera's not on you. Okay, you're gonna.
We'll give just a minute to let everybody join in.
Here.
And Terrence,
Bye.
hi.
I can't hear you or see you.
Terrence, we are so excited to have you join the group. I think you probably see some familiar faces, but it's certainly good to see yours. And just so you know, this meeting is all about exploring different parts of the world and different cool things about the world. So we have been all over in the last pretty much year that we've been doing this program every Tuesday for almost a year. Kind of crazy. But today,
there we go.
We're going to explore a pretty cool spot. Okay, St. Lucia, there it is. And for my TR team, do any of you remember how big it is?
Yeah.
What it can be compared to? Maybe Matthew or Catherine? If you've got those notes. Yeah, Matthew, is that you?
Yeah, that's me. It is 27 miles long and 14 miles across its widest point, and is 3.5 times the size of Washington, D.C.
Okay. So Washington, D.C., you know, is not that big, but it's like this much of St. Lucia Island. So this island's pretty small. Does anyone know where it is in the world? Which sea it's in, maybe? It's pretty tropical. You can see here in the pictures. Here, I'll give you a clue and zoom out. Oh, it's one of many islands. There's Puerto Rico. There's South America. Here we are, way up here. Which sea is this island in? If you know the answer. The Caribbean Sea, that's right. The Caribbean Sea. So there is some really unique culture and traditions that are here on this island. It's not only an island, it's a country. It's its very own country in the Caribbean Sea. Let's check out some of these photos that people have posted so you get a better idea of what's going on there. So I see some palm trees. I see some water activities.
I want to go there.
I bet there's some scuba divers out there somewhere in the water.
That's not for me.
My mom must have is a scuba diver, like Brad's parents, and I bet she went to the Caribbean a lot.
Yeah, that would be a good place to go. The water seems very clear from videos and pictures I've seen. These mountains right here, we're going to talk about some more. These are the Pitons, and they are so famous, in fact, that the country put it on their flag to represent the country. It's Petite Piton and I forget the other one. It's basically the small one and the big one. Oh, check this out. Some water.
Oh, that's cool.
More beach time.
I want to go there.
Alyssa, I hear you. Man, that is a beautiful picture. There's even a short video I have of people hiking one of the pitons. That's a pretty steep climb. I don't know about that. I don't think I'm in good enough shape to climb that right now.
Me neither. Me neither.
You can see
Same here.
the houses are sprawled out on the hillside. So the island is not flat. It's very mountainous. It's got a lot of hills. Okay, so
yeah, that's pretty.
So here we are in the Caribbean Sea. What I'd like to talk to you about today is to delve more into the geography of it, what traveling is like inside this country, what those mountains, the pitons, are like, what's the weather like, what's the tourism industry like, what about flora and fauna, the wildlife, the animals, the food, the native people, how do they speak, all that stuff we're going to get into today. And as we go, Catherine, Matthew, Elaine, we'll all jump in with some more fun facts that relate. So for the very beginning, I'm going to start with a little geography to build off of our map. And I'm going to get that video up and going. Is there anything anyone wants to add while I get that ready?
I do.
Michelle. Hey, Michelle. I don't know if you can see this, but I put a virtual background, and you know who it is? My dog, Penny. Put my virtual background to Penny, because that's her dog.
Oh.
Why not? Because I always have that.
Was there somebody that said they wanted to share about St. Lucia something?
Yeah, I was curious. I looked into something. So St. Lucia, as we discovered, is 238 square miles. Chattanooga is 143 square miles. So you take Chattanooga and the surrounding area, and it's about the same size as St. Lucia.
Oh,
That's interesting.
I love that. That's
So
really
Brad,
cool.
you mean like if you took like Chattanooga and then like Hickson and Red Bank?
I think it goes back out to as far as Cleveland, because I saw that Cleveland is about 27 square miles. So you add in Cleveland and Ottawa and all that, and it'll be about the same.
Cool.
Nice.
It's a pretty big island. Sounds like a lot of times they're a lot smaller. So definitely very diverse, has a lot to offer.
Definitely. Thanks, Brad.
I apologize. I feel a fun fact. You guys can.
No, you're good. Okay, here's some more on the geography. This is called Geography Now, and they have a whole slew of videos about different parts of the world, and it's fairly entertaining. We'll just watch a couple minutes for starters.
We cover the sister triplet St. Lucia, the only country in the world named after a woman. Their tourism slogan is even "Let her inspire you." And even the country has physical features of a woman. The locals clearly showed me that the tallest...
So, just a second. I think I started a little too soon.
That's good.
island. First of all, St. Lucia is located in the Caribbean, part of the Lesser Antilles, which are all the small islands hooking on the right side past Puerto Rico, and further part of the Windward Islands, which are the bottom 5 islands that stretch to South America. It is about 27 miles long and 14 miles wide. The island has about 20 or so smaller islets just off their shores. Pigeon Island used to be an island until it was connected to the mainland via man-made causeway in 1972. The country is made up of 10 districts, with the capital and largest city of about 70,000 people, Castries, located in the northwest side of of the country. The next largest towns would be Gros-Islet and Vieux-Fort down south, which actually holds the largest airport, Hewanorra International. This airport is where most international flights come into, which is why the country is investing so much in this one town to attract the tourists to stay instead of complaining about needing to get taxis to get all the way up to the hotspots like Castries or Soufrière. Castries has the second and only other airport, Castries George F.L. Charles Airport, which has a shorter runway that only handles regional turboprop and prop airplanes from other nearby islands. The country also has many other means of transport, the largest port being the port of Castries, where cruise dock, whereas much of the cargo vessels dock at Buckeye Terminal, massive crude oil storage tanks that cooperate with countries like the USA, Venezuela, and Colombia. From there, you have three main roads that go around the island: the East Coast Road, the West Coast Road, and the Gros-Islet Highway that goes all the way to the northern tip of the island. This whole section here is only accessible by small local paths, many of which are not fully paved or even accessible by vehicle. The country is planning on maybe building a highway in the future, but for now, the number 6 shaped road network is the main means of road transport. Also fun.
Okay. So that's our first little video to see more of what the island looks like and where it is in the Caribbean Sea, how it's broken up. With that, we're going to jump back to that video a few times today. But something really interesting about St. Lucia is the Creole language that they use there. And I want to give you a little intro on what that sounds like. Does anyone know what Creole is? Does anyone know and what influences are in that language? Like
French.
Yes, French. Well, I will show you. Or rather, I'll have one of our locals explain it a little bit more. Thank you for your patience, everyone.
Break it down for me really quick.
Okay, well, Creole itself is a mixture of different languages. Some of us say it's a broken French. However, it's a mixture of the English, a little Spanish in there, a little South African. So it's a mixture of different things. To give you an example, for the word me, which is I in English, but it's also a patois word for corn, like corn in the cob. You know, you do have, where it gets confusing in terms of writing it, is certain words that you use in patois could be used so many different ways, which means different things. Like, for example, if you want to tell me stop, you're going to tell me dubut. If you want to tell me, if you're coming towards me and I want to tell you stop, then I still tell you dubut, which is the very same thing. So that's one of the reasons why it is difficult in writing and whatnot.
Okay, well, sorry. Let me ask you a few questions, like just a few words, and you repeat in the language. Okay, so how are you?
How are you means sao café. Or you could say comment yi.
Okay, good morning.
Good morning would be bonjour, which is the same as English. It's the same thank you, which is the same merci. You know, so it's really, that's where the French is coming in. You know.
Okay. What about 1 through 10?
You want me to count 1 to 10?
Yeah, 1 to 10, yeah,
okay.
Sorry.
C'est 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Again, it's the same as the French.
And what about give me a kiss? Some people want to know.
I don't think so.
All right, thank you so much. This is the view here. Wow.
So unfortunately, we don't learn how to act or say "give me a kiss." He didn't want to tell us how to say that. But it is common for women, if they know one another fairly well, to kiss each other on the cheek, which is also a very French tradition. Does anyone here greet that way?
No.
Especially not right now.
My dad.
Not
right now, though.
Not right now.
Only with my parents. That is
And I
it.
think
And that's even
you-
after COVID, only my parents.
Yeah,
Same
and that's
here,
a
Emily.
very personal space.
But
I
whenever
think-
I'm at the dentist, I get to hug my assistant when she visits me at my cleaning appointment. But I turn my head away.
So each culture, Emily, I'm glad you brought that up. Each culture has a different way of greeting. And I think, Elaine, you found some interesting information about how men will greet each other in St. Lucia. Do you remember that? Or I can pull it up too.
Yeah. So typically, you guys know what the fist bump is, right? Right. So a
Yeah.
lot of times, the men will greet each other with a fist bump, and then they take their fist and put it against their heart. So they.
Sometimes I fist bump too hard.
I know, right? You got to be careful. But that's typically the difference. So the men will do that. And then the women, like Michelle said, if they know each other fairly well, they'll kiss each other on either cheek.
No, thank you.
Miss Elaine,
Yes, Kendall.
you know how I used to have Penny on my virtual background?
Oh,
Now
I've-
this one virtual background now is my mom, my brother, and me during Christmas. This is like
Yep, I'm watching. For
that was
sure.
when we got our built-in blankets that day. That was
Elaine,
that's
I'm
my
telling you,
background.
we are falling behind in the technology world. We need all y'all to teach us the ways of Zoom.
Oh, I can
I'm
teach you.
gonna, change mine to
If you
Saint
look on your
Lucia, I
bottom
think.
bar on
Oh.
your screen, there should be 3 little dots, and it says more. And then if it says virtual background, and then you can pick out what virtual background you want.
Very cool.
Then you say close, and then it'll pop up on your screen. So
Thank you, Kendall.
Excellent.
Thank you. Well, up next, I have another video for you, which will give you a broad view of St. Lucia. So this was a compilation of what someone said. These are the 10 things you need to do when you go there. 10 things. 10 most important activities that you can do or things you must know.
Number 10. For a small island, St. Lucia is doing big things. Per capita, St. Lucia is second in the world of Nobel Prizes. The country boasts 2 Nobel laureates in the form of the esteemed Sir Arthur Lewis and famed author Derek Walcott. Sir Arthur won in 1979 for economics, Walcott won for literature in 1992. Number 9. Between the 17th and 18th century, St. Lucia changed hands between the French and the British 14 times. But all that changed on Thursday, February 22, 1979, when the country became a fully...
So I'm going to pause really quick because, Catherine, do you want to tell us what this flag is all about?
Sorry, can you repeat the question? My
Yes,
signal's
do you
been
want to
going in
tell
and out.
us more about this flag and why it's shaped this way?
So as I heard earlier, that is shaped as far as those 2 mountains that we saw towards the beginning. It's kind of symbolized from that. Give me just a second, I can tell you a little bit more.
Yeah, thank you, Catherine. She just so you guys know, she had found a very cool picture of this, and then I was seeing it and hearing more in the videos that I was watching to prepare for this. I think, remind me or tell me if I'm wrong, Catherine, but I think it was in like the 60s, 1960s, when they created this flag. Maybe it was the 70s, right before it became an independent country, like 10 years beforehand, and it has stuck. So, just a little fun fact about their flag. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
I screenshotted the video so I can watch it on my own.
Yeah, there you go. All right. Thanks, Catherine.
Independent nation. February 22 is celebrated as Independence Day. It's also a national holiday in St. Lucia. Number 8. The black, blue, white, and yellow St. Lucian flag tells the story of this small but great island. The blue represents the sky and the sea, and the arrow shape represents the pitons. The flag has been used since 1967, 12 years before the island became independent.
Ha! So I forgot it was right there in the video. Now it's now you know the source.
St. Lucia parrot is the national bird. It's native only to St. Lucia. Number 6. Castries is the capital of St. Lucia, and the St. Lucian currency is the Eastern Caribbean dollar, a regional currency shared among members of the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union. Number 5. While English is the official language of St. Lucia, the St. Lucian Creole French or Patois is spoken by 95% of the population. Number 4. The Pitons are St. Lucia's most famous landmark and UNESCO World Heritage Site. The Pitons are said to be the most photographed site in the Caribbean and the most famous mountain pair on Earth. The Pitons are a must-see for anyone who visits the island. Number 3. St. Lucia is home to Roseau Valley, one of the most remarkable distilleries in the world, famous for producing more than 21 types of rum, and you can sample or buy one or all of them. Number 2. St. Lucia is home to Johnny Cake, a fried or baked dough that's often served with saltfish sauteed with peppers and onions. And number 1. Almost every country in the world is named after a person, tribe, land feature, or navigational location, but St. Lucia is the only one named after a woman. St. Lucia is said to be named after St. Lucy of Syracuse by French sailors who were shipwrecked on the island on the saint's feast day of December 13. If you're visiting St. Lucia in the month of May, you'll be just in time for the country's biggest festival, the St. Lucia Jazz Festival. Musicians come from all over the world to take part in this celebration, and you too are welcomed to join. And that's it for a roundup. Join us again next time for a
Julie's dancing. Julie wants to go there in May after that jazz festival. Very nice. So that video just gives you more of an overview. Like we talked about, it's very curious. It's the only place named after a woman, the only country named after a woman, which I thought was really unique. So, how about we look at some of these animals that we'll find on the island? What do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, so you saw earlier in that video that there is a bird that is native to the island, and that is called a jackal, I believe is how it's pronounced. I might not be getting that right. Otherwise known as a parrot. So check this out. They have their conservation effort, because this bird was endangered. They used to eat the birds and they would sell them in the marketplaces, and then they realized there were only like 100 left in the wild. So they had to protect these birds before they went extinct. So now they have many hundreds of parrots and an ongoing effort to protect them. And they are just beautiful birds. So the ACTP stands for Association for the Conservation of Threatened Parrots. Very specific to parrots. Aren't those cool birds? I love how they can ruffle their feathers at their neck, and they've got all the colors.
They are pretty.
They are pretty.
Yeah, they are pretty.
So now they're getting back to, well, they're thriving, they're growing in their population, which is a good thing.
Well, at least they stopped eating them.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, Michelle, now my virtual background is now my cats Fitz and Floyd.
It looks
The
like
one
my
that's
brother.
on my right is Floyd, and the one on the left is Fitz.
I wish I could have a virtual parrot in my background. So this
Oh,
next
that would be
one,
cool. That would
this
be cool.
next video has more to do with the wildlife and the plant life that we'll find there.
St. Lucia is a beautiful, lush, green, mountainous destination. Lots of rainforests, waterfalls, tropical flowers. Beautiful island with great beaches as well. So lots to offer. Well, we've got 15 minutes. We've got our St. Lucian parrot as well, which is very popular, and it came very close to extinction. So really happy to have it back to something where everyone can get to see it now. Although it is quite a treat to get to see the parrot. And we've also got our warbler, the peewee, and our Oreo. So we're quite lucky to have so many endemics.
We also have special birds that are found only in St. Lucia, Martinique, like the white-breasted thrush and the grey trembler. We have other birds like hummers, like the Antillean crested hummingbird, the purple-throated, and green-throated carib. So these are fantastic. As birders, we like to take people out very early.
Hummingbird! Hummingbird!
We like to start very early, so we're looking at 5:36 to leave the hotel to be there. You know, that's the best time if you want to catch the birds in their glory.
The flora and fauna in St. Lucia, there's a wide variety. We've got primary rainforest, secondary rainforest, lots of ferns, tropical flowers, orchids, a wide variety. And we've got 2 botanical gardens, so you can go there and have an expert guide to show you all the wonderful flora and fauna that we have on island.
The other things you can do in St. Lucia, for example, if the family don't want a bird, they can go horseback riding or kayaking or doing a buggy tour, maybe scuba diving, snorkeling.
We also have a wide variety of accommodation, from all-inclusive to boutique, and bed and breakfast, family-oriented, lonely. So it's a very diverse destination. So whatever you're into.
So, there are a lot of other birds and animals other than those parrots. And Catherine, I wonder if you remember just how many species of birds there are on the island.
There are roughly, can anybody just take a quick guess to how many bird species there are?
15?
Higher.
5,000.
Higher. No, lower. That's a lot of birds.
1,000.
157 bird species just on that small island.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. Wow.
So thank you, Catherine. Not only are there all these birds, it's also known as the island of iguanas. Does anyone know what an iguana is? Have you seen an iguana maybe in a zoo, or probably not so much outside?
I have.
Yeah.
I have.
Iguanas look like small dragons. They are just so cool. So when settlers first arrived on the island, they noticed there were so many iguanas out on the beaches, and the name stuck. So now it's known as the island of iguanas.
I've seen one in person in like nature.
Me too, Rachel. They're pretty cool.
When my parents and I went to Mexico to the Mayan ruins, the Aztec ruins and everything else like that, my mom had an iguana. My mom has a picture of an iguana.
Oh, very cool. I have, from that first video that we watched, a little bit more about different wildlife that we'll see there. Check this out.
Explain.
Gary Harlow here. St. Lucia is a reptile and bird paradise. Today, lizards and geckos can be found crawling all over buildings and vehicles. The island is a haven for birds of all kinds like finches and warblers. Snakes of all kinds here as well, including what is considered the most rare snake in the world, Kues snake. The island only has two main wild species of mammals, mongoose and the agouti. Now, you're more likely to find dogs and cats roaming around everywhere freely. It's hard to distinguish if they're pets or strays, but very often they're most likely strays. And finally, the national animal, the St. Lucia parrot, is the only bird endemic to the country and is a vibrant, beautiful array of colourful feathers.
Thank you. Now,
So as you can see, many different kinds of animals. And I thought how fitting that the parrot is so beautiful and vibrant with the colors, just like the island itself. Some of the flowers that we saw that are there, it's very warm and tropical. And I certainly would like to go there today, but I feel like we get just a little sliver of it from our Chattanooga weather today. Our 60 degrees that we're experiencing. So something else I wanted to tell you about, is the food. Catherine, this is another one that you can share with us. A certain kind of food, it's a fruit that they produce so much of. And I wonder if we could maybe take guesses again and see if anyone knows what fruit is growing like crazy in St. Lucia. I see Julie's hand up.
Kiwi.
Cherry?
Kiwi.
No, kiwi. Kiwi.
Good guess. Good guess, but it's not the kiwi. Any other thoughts?
Okay.
We may be stumped, Catherine. I think we need you to tell us the answer. Pineapple.
Pineapple.
I'll give you guys a hint. This fruit is yellow and it grows on a tree.
Banana.
Oh.
Banana?
Lemon.
Oh.
A lemon.
Pineapple.
Subscribe to this channel.
Their largest produce is bananas.
Yay!
The banana.
Oh, I love bananas.
Banana.
Yummy.
I love bananas too. The reason I left the app briefly was to save those videos. One of the channels, Geography Now, I was already subscribed to.
Oh, I love bananas. They're so good for you.
Yes,
they are.
I agree.
So with that, I'm going to jump somewhere else in that video for another 30 seconds where it'll explain more about the bananas that they produce and something else that's a part of their economy and a part of their history.
Bananas are good.
Back in and wipe off the mud. Historically, St. Lucia switched from being a sugar-dominated industry to a banana-producing powerhouse. Today, bananas are still grown, the largest concentration in Roseau. But the industry has waned and more people are growing other crops either to diversify the agriculture sector. This, of course, leads us to the obvious fact. The largest industry that keeps them afloat at around 65% of their GDP is in tourism.
I'm a backpacker on a budget. Can I go here?
Kind of. You can find lower-end Airbnb accommodations and cheaper activities, but generally, keep in mind most places of interest cater to the high-end. Luxury cruise.
So if you are looking for a cheap place to go backpacking, it's probably not St. Lucia. It's like he said, tourism is a huge part of their economy, and they really cater to people with a lot of money. Or unless you can do it on a good budget and have a very specific thing that you're going for. Let's see, what else, crew?
We got 4 more minutes.
Yes, we do. And I have a couple of more things to share with you about this drive-in volcano. Did you know that you can have a drive-in volcano on this island? It's really one of the only places, I believe, in the world where you can do that. And also that this lava that they've got going on, it still bubbles, and you'll see it in this video. that I'll just show you the video. Let you see it with your own eyes.
So, Michelle, something that I saw when I was doing some research on St. Lucia as well was because of all those volcanoes, right? And because of it being an island. You like volcanoes? It has lots of cool hot springs too. So you can go to these places that have hot water and soak in them, and they even do the mud hot springs, which is kind of crazy. Everybody gets really, really muddy, but I guess it's really good for your skin.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you.
I did see that in several videos that people
I'm with you, Julie.
Rubbing mud on themselves. It's said to be very exfoliating and good for your skin. I don't know that I'm going to start practicing mud baths anytime soon. I'll leave that for people in St. Lucia.
I can't even do a hot tub without freaking out. No way with mud.
I like hot tubs. They feel really good, but I can only
I agree.
pools and showers.
There was a guide down there in the drive-in volcano area where they do tours who wanted to demonstrate what the mud was like, and so he jumped into one of those bubbling round things that you saw in the video. He jumped in it up to his waist. And he sustained some extreme burns, some really bad burns to his skin. So they have since roped it off. You can't go back there. You can't get close because it looks kind of like a hot spring, right? Or like Elaine said, you use the mud and baths. I don't know if this guide was just really new to it or he must have not realized. And so he had to stay in the hospital for 6 months after that. And they said he changed careers and he became a fisherman so he could be in the cooler waters. Probably a better move for him.
That's what I would do.
Yeah. So
yeah,
now
same here.
You can't go back up close into where it's bubbling because it's just too dangerous. But it is pretty amazing to see it.
Those are yucky burns.
Yeah, absolutely.
I hope he's okay.
Yes, he's okay now, as they said in the video. But that was definitely a learning lesson for everyone there in the drive-in volcano area.
Yeah.
I had
for worse too.
I had one more thing for you about the pitons and what it would be like to climb them. But before I do that, is there anything else anyone else wants to add to this?
Do not go near the volcano drive-through. Definitely not. Not gonna do that.
Yeah, exactly, Kendall. That's right. If you go there, don't get too close. Okay. Let's see a little bit about the terrain or the what the land is like on those Piton Mountains and what it would be like to climb them.
Climbing a Piton today.
Melancholy
where you can't get what you want, but you can get me. So let's set out to see. 'Cause you are my medicine when you're close to me. When you're close to me.
For the sake of time, I'm going to end the video there. But you can see, did you see the ropes that they were using? They had to climb up with the ropes right on the edge of the cliff. It was super steep, just like we saw on the flag, or like we saw in those pictures, the most photographed picture of the Caribbean, of the Pitons. Very steep. That would be a difficult hike, for sure. Julie, do you have something to add?
Did they on a bit of a part of the thing that we sang? I thought they was using sticks.
Walking
going
sticks?
up.
Oh, like roots from trees?
I thought they was using sticks.
Steps.
Oh,
Yeah, I think
steps.
so.
Yeah, I think I did see some steps at some
Yeah.
point in the trail. Yeah, yeah.
So you guys, I want to show you how Brad was talking about, and I think Matthew at the beginning, and we're talking about the size of the country, and how it compares to Chattanooga. And so real quick, just so you guys can see, so all this blue area, that's kind of the size and shape of what St. Lucia is. And you can see right here where my cursor is, that says Chattanooga. Here's Signal Mountain. And way up here, that's kind of Soddy Daisy. So kind of up to Soddy, and a little bit past Chickamauga. All right, so yeah, so you can kind of see how it resembles in size to Chattanooga. So
I've actually got the website pulled up. I'll share my screen real quick and I can show where it is, like on the tool that I found. Actually, I can't share, just kidding.
Oh, I just made you a co-host, Brad. Go ahead. You should be able to now.
And then, so this is St. Lucia, the size and the shape of it. And then this is Chattanooga. So I was thinking that it was going to be big enough to reach out into Cleveland, but it's actually not. It's very small in comparison. It just barely reaches up to Soddy Daisy. If you do it that way, I can't tilt it, but that's the size of it. Y'all can see it, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Brad, that is so cool
Cool.
that you can find the true size of anything through that website. I like that. I might use that in the future.
It's definitely though big enough for me to go and visit, I think. So I don't know if anybody else is going to put this on their list, but I would love to go to a Caribbean island
Yes.
in the near future.
Yes. Anyone else wanting to jump on that train? Or that boat, I guess. That's how you'd have to get down there. Boat or plane.
I take the boat.
All right, Explorers Club field trip going to St. Lucia.
I'll take the plane.
That's
All
right.
right,
We'll
I'll
get
take
a group discount.
I'll take the plane. I'll take the plane when it's safe now.
Right, exactly, Rachel. I hear you.
Well, there you go. There you have it. A little insight into the country island of St. Lucia. And we are all out of time at this point. So you guys, it's good. It's so good to see you. Thank you for being with us and learning more about this place. And just daydreaming about being there is fun for me, for sure. Julie, did you have something to add?
No, not really. I was going to you remember when we did Special Olympics and Jamie McGinn had the basketball and threw it over her head Is it somebody's school for Martine?
I remember, Julie.
You remember that?
I do.
It's always pretty awesome.
That was
Hey, Michelle.
That is pretty awesome.
You know how I used to have Fitz and Floyd over my head, but now I have my cat James when he was sleeping on my dad's bed. My
Your
bedroom.
cat James
Or
looks
what,
like a
my
big
parents'
kitty.
bed. Well, he's actually, yeah, this is when he stretches out to go to sleep.
Aww.
They're so cute when they sleep. My
so-
brother has
I
two
know,
of them.
he's so cute.
Two cats. Yep.
I prefer cats while they're sleeping. He is very cute.
I know, they're so cute.
And you can tell by his lip
Aw.
right there. He likes to have his like lips open a little bit because sometimes their lips kind of open when they're sleeping. So.
I wonder if there are
Look
any
at that
cats
baby.
on
And then
St.
when he's
Lucia.
sleeping, his paw like twitches. Like when he's dreaming, his little paw.
Look
will
at that
twitch.
baby. They're so
Just
cute when they
Oh,
sleep.
look at
He's a
him.
sweet guy. He's a sweet
My
boy.
brother has two of them.
Well, you guys, I know I want to be respectful of your time and we're technically over. So at this point, we can say our goodbyes. If you have a question or if you want to chat for a minute, you can stay on. But I'm going to go ahead and give you the permission to leave as you need to. It's good to see you, and I hope you can
I'm probably
enjoy
gonna
some of
stay
this
on and chat. I'm
warm
probably gonna
weather.
stay
See you on
to chat.
Thursday.
afternoon.
I'm gonna
See you on
stay on and do
Thursday.
some chatting.
Guys.